Hello and welcome to Boomer Live once again, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are talking about India versus New Zealand. It's a big game, and obviously India will be kicking themselves to get ready and get going in this World Cup unbeaten from here on. And remember that India have always had the issue against New Zealand in the ICC trophies. And remember the record stands; it is 10-3. New Zealand have gotten 10 times better over India, and India have managed to defeat New Zealand only 3 times. But here we are going to be talking about what are the possibilities in which India can change that record, maybe make it 10-4 possibly at the end of the day. And how do India keep going from here on? I have Sandeep Bani with me. Sandeep Bani, such a big game that we have today. We've been always talking about this game, considering the conditions, considering how these two teams have performed so far, two unbeaten teams as well. We've always spoken about this game, but now looking at it, it's even more spicy, it's even more exciting because these are the only two unbeaten teams in the World Cup, and these are the two teams who have played the best cricket leading into this World Cup and throughout this World Cup as well. If you look up New Zealand, they have performed from the first game till now. You can say they've got few easier oppositions, but there's not a lot of difference in comparison to what New Zealand have gotten, India have gotten. They've played similar oppositions, except maybe for the Netherlands and Pakistan, who India have played, who New Zealand haven't. But still, you can only defeat the teams you have got on the offing.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what New Zealand have done well is they have got that early win against England, which gave them a lot of confidence. And then they had three easy opponents relatively because they played Netherlands, Bangladesh, and Afghanistan. So if you want to be at the top, you should definitely beat them. So the fixtures ahead looks really challenging for New Zealand. But having said that, I think 4 out of 4 means gives you that assurance that you can probably lose even 3 of the next 5 and still go on to make it to the semifinals. But they wouldn't want to do that because they are at a position where they have been dominating games.
Yeah,
They have had quite a few injuries, like India as well. But they have got the better of the injuries in the fact that they are missing their regular skipper Kane Williamson, who they are expecting will be back uh, hopefully before the end of the tournament. He's out with a fracture, but still they have somehow balanced that playing 11 in such a way that even if there is a collapse or anything, if they lose early wickets, there is that approach where they're looking to conserve wickets. They are applying more of a conservative approach, which has been working really well in this World Cup, like we have been talking about it as well. If you keep wickets in the hand for the first 35 to 40 overs, then you can really go out and accelerate towards the last 10 or 15 with wickets in hand. That is the approach that New Zealand is taking. And I think they have been supported really well with the bowlers as well. Mitchell Santner is the joint leading wicket taker right now. He has been absolutely spectacular with the ball, with the bat
yeah.
on the field. And also you have the likes of Matt Henry and Trent Bolt giving them good starts. Matt Henry in particular, I think he has been having a great tournament so far. He has also picked up some
And that's an
9 wickets
excellent
in
point
four
by
games.
Teju as well. You know, what he's mentioned over here is that more than Bolt, it was Matt Henry who took India apart. If you
Exactly.
remember, he's the one who took Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul to start off with. I think he is the one who also took Dinesh Karthik there with that
Yeah,
flying catch who Loki Ferguson had picked up. So it was
exactly.
Matt Henry who caused all the havoc, but Trent Bolt got all the limelight because of Virat Kohli's wicket, as rightly mentioned by Teju. I remember that game because Matt Henry's channels are more tougher to play than Trent Bolt. You know, to be very fair, yes, Trent Bolt is a harder player when the ball is moving in and the ball is moving away. But Matt Henry is extremely consistent. He doesn't get enough credit as a Trent Bolt because he's the one who's always causes all the troubles. If you look at most of the IC trophies in the recent past.
Exactly, and I think he is a very underrated commodity because if you talk about Matt Henry, you would obviously want to imagine a New Zealand bowling scenario where you have Trent Bolt and Tim Southee opening, which is has been their preferred option for quite a few years now. But then again, Matt Henry in crucial games, even if you remember the 2019 World Cup semi-final, Matt Henry came in as a substitute. I mean, Tim Southee got injured right before the game, and it was announced that Matt Henry is going to play ahead of him, not right before the game, but a couple of games earlier as well. So Matt Henry came in between as a substitute in the tournament, then made a place for himself, and has been bowling phenomenally since then. But this year around, he has been a sure shot starter for New Zealand and was in contention for the World Cup as the second seamer, which has been good for them. And he absolutely flies under the radar a lot of time because of the way in which Trent Bolt swings the deliveries or probably gets a wicket in the first over itself. That is what Trent Bolt does. And Matt Henry just flies under the radar, picking up, being very consistent. He's a Siraj kind of a bowler who will probably get shadowed by a Bumrah just because Bumrah is so good. That is the problem with the New Zealand team as well. Uh, and I think this is the clash between two best opening bowlers in this tournament right now. I think Mohammad Siraj hasn't really turned up to the party as much as you would like him to in the power plays, especially. But if he does, I think Siraj and Bumrah versus Matt Henry and Trent Bolt is going to be a cracker of a contest. Having said that, I think what has been really working for them is they have been picking wickets in the middle overs as well. Mitchell Santner coming in, chipping in with wickets in the
Yeah.
middle. There has been Rachin Ravindra, who has been consistent, who is bowling those defensive lines and picking up wickets when the team has needed it. Lockie Ferguson in the last two games have chipped in with crucial wickets. I think he has picked up 5 or 6 wickets in the last two games itself. He is bowling at good pace. Everything looks good for New Zealand right now. Similarly, I
Absolutely.
think India also has the same. I mean, same thing going for them. The bowling has been absolutely spectacular. I think all the 4 games that they have played, they have restricted the opposition to a total that has been way beyond par. I mean, way below par. That has allowed
Mhm.
the batters to really not get challenged yet. Uh, and so far, they have played their attacking, aggressive approach. They have gone with their aggressive and the intent approach that Rohit Sharma has been talking about, had been talking about for 1.5 years now. But that is what has allowed them to go with that intent and approach. It is going to be interesting to see if one of the days the Indian bowlers have an off day, how the batters perform, or if they are put into bat first, if we are put into bat first, how do we fare then? So that is going to be an interesting challenge to see right now. But I feel that according to the balance and everything, India is going to miss the likes of Hardik Pandya, because if you see, they even in the team composition, we have a similar sort of composition as a New Zealand. They have a Jimmy Neesham, we have a Hardik Pandya. They have a Mitchell Santner, Rachin Ravindra, we have Ravindra Jadeja and probably Ashwin as well. So the composition or the way of playing is same, but the approach has been different. That has been very interesting to see. New Zealand have had that conservative approach where they have looked to keep wickets in hand
Yeah.
for the first 50 overs, whereas India have looked to take the game on right from ball one, no matter how many wickets have fallen. I think if they are losing 2, 3 wickets in a cluster, then they are playing a bit sensibly. Other than that, I think they have been coming out all guns blazing. So the difference in approach is also going to be interesting to see and note how they go about in Dharamshala.
Absolutely. Michael Andrews says India needs to attack the opening bowling pair, and Teju says that he's sensing the Chapman and Dal Mitchell might have a good game. But to be very fair, if you look at New Zealand's batting, there are gaping holes, as we did mention in the couple of streams prior to this as well, as to how they can be exposed if you're really bowling well. They haven't really been challenged on all fronts by a good bowling attack. This will be their first major challenge when it comes to a good bowling attack. Do you reckon India can expose it? Because Rachin Ravindra is a phenomenal player so far, and even Devon Conway has stepped in whenever it need be. But can it be? Can there be a particular situation where India can possibly rip apart their top order, get into the middle order, and possibly challenge, put a lot of pressure under them? I know last game Tom Latham and Glenn Phillips did play a good knock, putting the pressure on the Afghanistan bowlers. But once again, Afghanistan let loose. After having them 110 for four, Afghanistan absolutely let New Zealand off the hook. If it were not to be Afghanistan, maybe any other team, they could have possibly pounced on that situation, put a lot of pressure on the New Zealand batters. But that's something which they did not do. But come this game, if India sends an opportunity, you really feel that India can absolutely pounce on them as they've been doing throughout this World Cup. Whenever they sense there's an opening or a gap to really put a lot more pressure, they've been doing that so consistently.
I think early wickets is going to be a huge key, because you have the likes of Devon Conway, who becomes a really important cog in that batting lineup in Kane Williamson's absence. A player like, I think, Daryl Mitchell has been the most effective and I mean the best batter for New Zealand in this year so far in the ODIs. But the thing with Daryl Mitchell is he has that attacking mindset as well. So you don't know how he will fare against a Kuldeep Yadav or a Ravindra Jadeja when the team is under trouble. Same is the case with a Glenn Phillips and Mark Chapman as well. I think Tom Latham and Devon Conway are going to hold the key for New Zealand with the bat, because you have to have one of these two players to play a sensible knock where they look to play time, or probably play the anchor's role where they don't give away their wickets cheaply, while the other batters can sort of look to play a more attacking or aggressive game. But I think the two players that can really hold the innings from one end is Devon Conway and Tom Latham, especially because of their experience playing in India, against India, and also their form in the last 1.5 years as well. But the other players, I think they still lack in experience, and they still lack a bit of maturity with the bat. And it was good to see Glenn Phillips get that innings going against Afghanistan, because prior to that, I think he was a player who was really underperforming for New Zealand, because you expect a player of Glenn Phillips' caliber of quality to emulate what say a Liam Livingston can do for England in regular times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you because one thing which we have always, set above at Glenn Phillips is to come and change the game. And I also feel, there's been a lot of added pressure on Glenn Phillips to do that more often than not, and he's not been able to fare it. But I think last game's knock is going to give him a lot of confidence heading into this. And at ground like Dharamshala will suit him a lot more because Dharamshala, on a good Dharamshala surface, if there is not a lot of movement, it always aids batters who play strokes, and the ball does travel really well there. Remember, it's at a very high altitude. I think it's 5,000 meters above the sea level, and that's the best possible a place to hit the ball, and it'll travel a long way. And it's a six-hitting ground once again, more than boundaries. It's a six-hitting ground because of these very reasons. You've seen some of the high-scoring games in Dharamshala have always been extremely high-scoring. And remember, England also did score 366 on the same venue against Bangladesh. And if you're, as Shinwari rightly mentions, it's going to be a tough toss, to be very honest. You do not know what to do. You might want to bat first, considering that it is going to be slightly harder to chase as well under lights because the ball does tend to move around quite a bit later on in the evening. Or would you want to bat first, a ball first, considering there might be dew later on in the game? Because in this World Cup, we've often seen if we are posting good scores on the board, the chasing teams have always found it difficult to overpower it and chase it down comfortably, as what we see in bilateral series. It's added World Cup pressure, you can say.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in a pitch or a condition where you are not sure what you need to do, I think teams prefer to do what has been their template. I think for New Zealand, it will be to put up a good score on the board, and probably try to defend it. And for India, it is going to be the absolute different. I think they would still prefer to chase, as Rohit Sharma has said, that has been their template, and the bowlers have been doing a spectacular job in the first innings itself. So it's a tricky thing to say what to do when you bat for. I mean, when you win the toss. Having said that, I think the two teams have their set templates. So more often than not, you would see a New Zealand batting first if India wins the toss. And I think it's a 50-50 if New Zealand wins the toss, because they have had that one game where they absolutely demolished England while chasing. It was completely different conditions, different settings as well. But I think they'll have that in the back of their mind as well. But apart from that, they have had great results batting first. In the game against Netherlands, they batted first. In the game against Afghanistan, they batted first, and they chased in two games. So I think it's been even Stevens for New Zealand in terms of whether to bat first or chase. So it's going to be 50-50 from their end. But I hope New
Absolutely.
Zealand to bat first.
Yeah, Teju is a good point. Hardik missing out is equal to two players missing out. You need to bring in a batter and a bowler. Yeah, that's the biggest question, right? Leading into this game, the biggest question was and is who is going to replace Hardik Pandya and what is the team combination going to be like? Are you going to bring in a Mohammad Shami to replace a Shardul Thakur to add that extra bit of bowling prowess? Or are you going to bring in a Surya Kumar Yadav at number 6? Now, if Surya Kumar Yadav is fit, which he did get a bit of a hit yesterday during the Nets, if Surya Kumar Yadav is fit, he is a complete shoon at number 6 for me because he's someone I still believe can turn a match around. And given the conditions, he might be an X factor player in today's game as well. And Mohammad Shami at number 8. Now you have a Surya Kumar Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja. It adds enough batting for you to go it with, proper 7 batters and then 4 proper bowlers, which is Shami. Then you have your Bumrah, you have your Kuldeep, and of course Mohammad Siraj as well. I personally think that's a good combination to go in, especially to a game like this. I know you are going to miss Hardik Pandya, but Mohammad Shami and Surya Kumar Yadav are really good in their own liking in their own departments. Where Surya Kumar Yadav can come in and change a game with the bat, Mohammad Shami can do that with the ball. So it's not a bad thing to have two specialists to come in as well to replace Hardik Pandya. I know it's a big loss. I don't know how long Hardik is going to miss out, but definitely to have these two players is a certain blessing for Team India.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing because both the players have been in great form as well. If you talk about Surya Kumar Yadav, the bilateral series against Australia prior to the prior to the World Cup has been really fruitful for Surya Kumar Yadav. He has really found that touch. He's looking to apply himself in a bit better than what he was doing previously, and I think he has had those two knocks which will be really important for him. That 72 run knock of 30, 35, 36 ball, 36 odd balls. That gave him the confidence to really go and emulate what he has been doing in T20s. And I think the knock prior to that, the 50 that he scored off some 55 or 60 deliveries in a game where India were losing wickets and Australia looked to be coming back in control of the game. He played that mature knock where he looked to rotate the strike, did not look to take high risks, and he got the reward as well. I think those two knocks will give him a lot of confidence, and that is where I think the balance would really tilt towards say Surya Kumar Yadav's favor to make it to the playing 11. Having said that, I think also Ishan Kishan uh, being stung by a bee always is not the best case scenario in this sort of situations where I think he was the player who would have gotten a call up if it was ideal circumstances. But right now, I think Surya Kumar Yadav coming in at number 6 looks really the way to go for India, and also Mohammad Shami coming in at number 8 will obviously I mean thin their batting a bit. But then again, Mohammad Shami is a decent enough bat at 8 who can come in and play the long ball. And also you have the likes of Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav at 9 and 10 as well. So I feel it's a pretty balanced line. But having said that, I totally agree with Teju over there. Hardik Pandya is more important for the team strength on paper. I think the strength of India on paper has gone down by a bit. The balance has gone down by a huge margin, because if you are playing Mohammad Shami and Surya Kumar Yadav, you are potentially playing only 5 bowlers instead of the 6 options that you had previously, and you are playing 7 batters where I think Hardik Pandya and Surya Kumar. Hardik Pandya is a good enough capable batter to come in at the top as well. So I think it's a huge blow to India if Hardik Pandya is not able to make it till the England game as well, because England are under pressure right now, and he would want to absolutely dominate the side while they are under pressure and probably send them packing home.
We can't still find a replacement for Pandya. I mean, that's a question we've been asking for so many years now, and I still think the quality of Pandya is extremely hard to replace because of what he really brings. To be very fair, you can understand. Okay, fine, you might get a player who might do similar things like what the Pandya does, for example, Shivam Dubey, Vijay Shankar, but his quality is extremely high, and we only tend to talk about it the moment he is not there in the team, right? We had that phase for 2 years where he wasn't fit, and we started missing him a lot more. But now, finally, that he is here, that he is doing well, I personally think he's such a blessing for Team India, personally, and I think he might go on to do better things as we speak. But Sanjay, once again, talking about which. Do you reckon this pitch is going to aid spin at all? In my opinion, it's not going to aid spin because whatever I've seen of Dharamshala so far, you have another Dharamshala where there's slight bit of moisture on the pitch. It often tends to grip slightly. Often we speak spoken about this very factor that when there's moisture on the surface, the ball does grip. But once the moisture is off, then the paces are totally in play, or it might just turn out to be a flatter wicket. So I personally think it might be a flatter wicket. I don't think it'll turn a lot. If at all a Dharamshala wicket eight spin, then I'm going to be very surprised, and that could be only because the Indian team is playing. I don't see any other reason why Dharamshala will ever eight spin.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. And in conditions which will aid spin even by a bit, I think then you can probably go in with a Ravichandran Ashwin. That will obviously improve your balance by a huge deal, because I think Ravi Ashwin coming in at number 8 can be a bonus. I have been the biggest, I mean, the biggest supporter of Ashwin in the last 1.5 years, where I feel that he is fit for any format that he wants to play in, because he is a much more experienced bowler. You saw in the game against Australia where he was really applying himself. Yes, the pitch was absolutely favoring him, but even in conditions which will not favor him, I think he is on any day going to be a better bet than a Shardul Thakur, both with bat and ball, because he has that experience right now where he can really, even if he is being hit for quite a few runs, he knows how to make that comeback. He knows how to hold his line, and he can go from attacking to defensive, and being a good defensive bowler in no time. I think the transition has gotten smoother as Ashwin has experienced over the last probably 6 to 8 years. He understands the batter a lot more. He has improved his arsenal with the ball a lot more. So in conditions that will even assist spin by a bit, I think India is going to go with Ashwin, Jadeja, and Kuldeep Yadav's combo, and I think that is a very threatening combo, and it will lengthen the batting order as well. Till then, I
Absolutely,
think
I
we'll
agree
have to
with you.
suffice with a Mohammad Shami, because I think Dharamshala, Mohammad Shami will be licking his lips. If
Mhm.
and I think with the form that Mohammad Siraj has shown so far, with the new ball, I think you can probably give Bumrah and Shami the new ball and see how they go, and probably Siraj can come in as the first change.
Yeah, that's a good point from you as well. And I think that's a solid bowling attack what we talked about with three proper seamers and two spinners. I know we are going to be lacking the sixth bowling option, but if Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, or Surya Kumar Yadav can turn their arm over, it's not a bad option to have. But definitely a six bowling option is always a blessing in disguise, or is always a blessing rather. And you would always want to go into a game with six bowling options. It's one of the reasons why a lot of other teams have been facing the brunt of it. Look at Pakistan for that matter. Look at a lot of other teams who are in the bottom rank question. They've all struggled with the six bowling option. You need a six bowling option when you're going into a World Cup game like this. So that's about it from us. Sunny, any predictions for this game before we end it?
I think it's going to be a cracker of a contest, and I don't think we'll get a one-sided game. But having said that, I think with the recent thing, keeping the recent form and everything in mind, I think India are the slight favorites. I think with Hardik Pandya in, they would have been a strong favorite. But without Hardik Pandya, I think India are still they still has the edge over New Zealand, because New Zealand are also going to miss Kane Williamson's service, and I think India are going to come in with a aggressive intent. Having said that, I think India should tone down their I mean, not tone down their aggressive intent, but I think they should just look out to play the I mean look to play out the new ball at least the first 4 to 5 overs, and then go after your business in your normal game. Just look to play out the first 3 to 4 overs from Bolt and Henry, just get a feel of the pitch, and then go after the bowling. And I think then
Absolutely.
India are going to continue their winning run and probably
Absolutely.
break the New Zealand jinx as well.
Yeah, hopefully Gill scores big today. I'm not sure about double hundred, but definitely I love to see Gill scoring big runs. I mean, it could be 100, it could be a 150. And if Gill gets in, he can score big as well. And he loves playing against New Zealand. So let's just hope Gill comes good because he has to score a World Cup 100, in my opinion. This is his World Cup. And I think if he scores big, he gets that world number one ranking as well. Sorry, Babar Azam. I'm very sorry. There's only one player who can do well in World Cups, and you're not the one. Bye bye, and have a good time, all of you.
I
And
think
remember to
Gambhir
check.
really jinxed him.
Yeah, Gambhir really did jinx
Bye
him,
bye,
and
guys.
thanks for Gambhir for that. Good. See you all of you by the end of the game, and remember to check out our app Boomer 11 right now. You can check the premium feature by downloading our app firstly, going into the shop, buying groceries, buying the stuff what you want. Check out our shop. What is your need for the hour? Buy something on our app, and then you can get Boomer coins. Then enter into a premium contest with Boomer 11, where you can win plethora of prizes. And then check out our free to play feature as well if you don't want to spend anything, and also check out our predictor feature where you can predict for today's contest and win a lot of prizes. So do not miss out this opportunity to play and make this World Cup more exciting with Boomer 11. Remember to always pick, play, and win with Boomer 11. Take care and see you all very soon. Bye bye.